Hi, I'm Bill. I'm here with Jesse.
Hello.
We are the Minimalist Garden. We have a contract, well actually it's a volunteer thing that we're doing for the Minimalist Garden to demonstrate our methods here with the Captain Avery Museum in Shady Side, Maryland. This is a very interesting 40-year project that has captured the waterman culture. And they were very fortunate about 10 years ago to have a woman who came in here who was a native plant environmental miracle worker. And they put in some rain gardens and all this is all native plants. Just we can just take up. This is just the front of the building. And all these are beautiful native plants, and we have noticed that there was a need because the woman who was doing it moved away just last spring. So a lot of these plants were neglected. And we've come in and been working with them and getting to know them, which is the Minimalist Garden method. And yeah, I want to point out here how all these, see, what we do is we come in, we take, and we just dress them up a little bit. And Minimalist Garden technique, of course, is to touch the plants and over, and that's the whole thing. And manage this plant bed. This is called the sign garden. One thing I want to point out, Jeff, is that when we, the organic matter, you see they had the stones laying along here, which is really kind of harsh and hard. Yeah. So what we've used is the waste from what we're pulling out of here to soften up that stone berm. The long term would be to take the stone out altogether and use it somewhere else. And create a nice plant berm there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's part of the parking lot here to get people to park here.
So you see what I'm doing? We're just going. You're in the Minimalist Garden. If you remember, one of our greatest assets, our greatest tool, is our hands and our arms. And the plants respond pretty well because the touch is gentle.
Yeah.
And really, the only way to get to know your plants is to touch them. A lot of people, I don't know why they are reluctant to do that, but...
Well, fear of running their hands into poison ivy, perhaps?
Yeah. And like Caroline, the young woman who we were talking to earlier, who helps take care of this place, the snakes are out. So I've been telling her, what I do is I just make myself known so that they scurry away before they bother me. Try and watch where you're going, of course.
Yeah.
Here again, we'll do some. You just want to dress this area up. See?
Yeah.
The idea here is to have these plants and to display them all times of year so people can come here and see, if they're going to buy a particular type of native plant. They can come out here and see how that plant will look and grow and what kind of maintenance is going to be required to manage that. So, this is thing. We went through all this. We pulled up, these stalks from the grass was out in there, but they were all laying all haphazard. Yeah. So we went in and picked them up. The area really responded nicely to the little bit of attention that we gave it. So we pulled these out, and these made nice. This is all typical of using everything in any particular landscape and incorporating the cuttings and the scrap part of it into the landscape. Because rather than hauling it away and take it to the landfill.
Yeah, because you're throwing away the nutrients if you do that.
Yeah, just leave this here. Leave it here. So we leave these kinds of things so that people can see what this plant is. Interesting. It has these little buds on top here.
I think that stems part of it.
This one too, we leave these up. We pulled some out, but we leave some of them up so that people can see you know, how that plant looks, because that's not an ugly thing, even though it's brown and dry. It's certainly not ugly, I don't think. Same thing here. There's a few leaves hanging on there. Just have to remember that joke about the leaf that didn't want to fall. Maybe another time. Anyway, but you know, there's still a few leaves on there, so we preserve that. A good way to tell if something is dry is to just bend it. If it's flexible, then it's a living stem.
Yeah, I've done that quite a bit
Yeah.
myself.
If it's dry, like
It'll snap off.
yeah,
It'll be brittle and snap off.
yeah. And even the dry stuff. But see, this is how we manage these plants. So I want to step over just to the other. We've been through this whole thing, but the thing about minimalism is, you know, every day if you do it, it's consistency like everything else. You know, it's like cleaning your house. You know? Nobody notices unless you don't do it. You know.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You know, when they do notice, we want them to see the beauty. Here again, your hands, your best fit. So a bit to do in this bed yet. We like to do this. It's really good. It's really good exercise, and it's a real good way to touch and be in touch with nature. Now I happen to know that there's no plants in here that are going to irritate my skin, like poison ivy or anything. I happen to know that.
Yeah.
Poison ivy is pretty easy to identify. These being all native plants, though, then
Yeah, it's just in woodland areas that's actually more of a concern in woodland areas. This prepared area is not so much.
and a lot of people don't realize.
Because poison ivy is a native.
And you remember we talked about it before, how the deer love it?
Yeah.
It's a favorite of deer, and lots of other animals. I read somewhere that human beings are the only animal allergic to poison ivy. Even the primates, so they're not too sure about primates. I don't think they have poison ivy where most primates live, so.
That's probably part of it.
Possible exception. But the native animals, they really like it. So anyway, what we're doing here, this is a minimalist method. Just going through here, touching these plants, pulling off some of the dry stuff, you know, pulling out what detracts from the whole presentation. I always see this as every landscape that I work on, I see it as a piece of art. This is just the palette. This is the palette, the canvas. And then, you know, if it's a sculpture, what's the secret to doing a sculpture?
You see it within the stone.
That's right.
That's what I heard.
You take away everything that isn't what you see there, you know? The question is, of course, what do you take?
And that means knowing the plants.
Yeah. Now I'm pulling this out because all this dry material detracts from the little bit of green that we have here right now this time of year. It is late September, but it's very warm. You might notice
Yeah.
the temperature is going to be in the 90s today, which is very warm for the middle of September. Not terribly unusual, but more frequent now than it used to be, from what I understand. But you can see what we've done. We've enhanced this now, and brought out and been able to bring out the beauty of the plants. And the only tool we use are our hands and our imagination. These are pretty cool. Listen to this. Can you get the camera close, Jess?
Hold on.
It'd be interesting to know how Native Americans use this.
Yeah.
And I imagine if you come here on a windy day,
Yeah.
cool. We were talking about, ooh, look how nice it is in the sunshine. 95 degrees. You got to be there
Yeah.
to appreciate it.
Though it also has this distinction of sticking out in the lot, which may be an issue for
And so we're
some.
thinking maybe we'll just take some clippers and shape this up around there. You know, like we say, we have to, we don't do anything spontaneously with plants because we have to communicate to the plants what it is that we'd like to do and then let them talk back to us, you know. And this one actually is telling me that, yeah, you know, why don't you just take these pieces here and not that whole thing,
Yeah.
you know? And then and I will reward you by looking even more beautiful there. You know,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. What is this? That's not that part of that tree.
It is.
That's the same tree.
Yeah. It's just colored differently.
Different color and texture.
There's more intensity there.
I wonder
Not
if
sure
the-
why, whether it's darker there because of the leaves or sometimes chlorophyll will adjust that way. If it's in an area that it gets more light, the leaves may
Let's
be
move
darker.
on. We gotta move on.